And to be completely honest, if I was Angel Reese, I'd be pissed off at that too. Basically saying she should be academically ineligible to play. Like, I'd be pissed off about that too if somebody was making up rumors like that. So yeah, that is a really interesting one. It was a lot of locker room stuff, media stuff that went on behind the scenes, and it is an interesting one, and we cannot forget the whole Angel Reese is a 1.7 GPA rumor that was started by.
And what you said, you guys aren't friends. Is that because of some of the things that we've seen before with the conversations with your people?
Yeah, it was a lot of media. It was a lot of locker room stuff, like, you know what I'm saying, stuff that go on behind the scenes. But
you know, like, you know what I mean? 2 years. Yeah, but we did see them, and they were like, they had each other's backs, and you know what I mean? Like they seemed like pretty close to me.
She been saying they weren't friends though. It's not a beef. It's just that we just not.
We ain't close no more.
Yeah, I mean, I know also too there was the incident with the parents going back and forth on social media.
Yeah.
As well, but they got through that. But I just feel like they went through so much together because, you know, the noise was so loud around them and they were doing it together. So I think I would have loved to hear her say, like, they're not maybe as close, but they still speak or they whatever. We not friends sounds like, I'm good.
And to be completely honest, if I was Angel Reese, I'd be pissed off at that too. Basically saying she should be academically ineligible to play. Like, I'd be pissed off about that too if somebody was making up rumors like that.
We've talked about the cracks in Angel Reese's inner circle, the shattered friendship with Flau'jae Johnson, Marina Mabri's quiet departure, Kennedy Carter's public plea to leave the Chicago Sky. These aren't isolated incidents. They're tremors in a pattern that's becoming increasingly difficult to ignore, sparking a crucial question. Is Angel Reese's undeniable star power inadvertently creating a volatile environment for her teammates? To really unpack this, we have to look beyond the court, into the very persona she's cultivated, and the relentless spotlight she operates under. Remember the Bayou Barbie? That fierce, confident, unshakable persona that helped Angel Reese dominate college basketball and capture a national championship? It was magnetic. It sold jerseys, broke viewership records, and turned her into a household name, an icon. But what thrives in the collegiate landscape, fueled by raw emotion and a take-no-prisoners attitude, can sometimes become a double-edged sword in the professional ranks. In college, that swagger was seen as competitive fire, a defiance that resonated with fans. In the WNBA, where players are seasoned professionals navigating multi-million-dollar contracts and long careers, the same energy can be perceived differently. It's a subtle but critical shift. From a celebrated individual brand to the intricate web of professional team dynamics, the pressure on Angel is immense. Every move she makes, every expression on her face, every social media post is dissected under a microscope. And then there's the unavoidable, almost suffocating comparison to Caitlin Clark. The media has, perhaps unfairly, crafted a narrative of two opposing forces: the marketable, universally beloved Clark, and the fiery, often polarizing Reese. This constant juxtaposition can inadvertently push Angel into a villain role, whether she seeks it or not. When you're constantly framed as the antagonist, it's easy for that public perception to seep into locker room whispers, even if it's just a magnified version of what's truly happening. How does that kind of external pressure, that public caricature, affect how you interact with teammates who are also navigating their own careers and public images? It's a burden few young athletes truly understand until they're living it. Let's dive a bit deeper into the me versus we dynamic. Go scroll through Angel Reese's social media. What do you see? Highlights, photo shoots, endorsements, personal achievements. And there's nothing inherently wrong with building a personal brand. It's crucial for athletes today. But when the perception, fair or not, becomes that the sole focus is me, it can create a rift within a team. Imagine being a role player, grinding every day, contributing in less flashy ways, only to feel like your contributions are overshadowed. Or worse, unseen, because all the camera lenses, all the interview requests, all the fan attention consistently gravitate towards one person. That constant individual focus can chip away at morale, making teammates feel undervalued and disconnected from the collective goal. It's not just about one player being good, it's about how that goodness is perceived and managed within the group. The whispers aren't just confined to her WNBA stint. While less publicized, there have been echoes from her time at Maryland before she transferred to LSU. Stories, largely unconfirmed but persistent, suggested similar struggles with team integration and a focus that leaned more individual than collective. When these threads, however thin, connect across different teams and different stages of a career, they start forming a tapestry that suggests a pattern. It moves beyond isolated incidents and raises a more profound question about core dynamics. Is it possible that the same fierce independence and self-belief that fuels her individual success might be the very thing that makes collaborative team environments challenging? The consequences of this toxic label, as some have outright called it, are not just about hurt feelings. They're tangible. For the Chicago Sky, it means instability. When key players like Marina Mabrey walk away citing culture issues, or promising young talent like Kennedy Carter publicly signals a desire to leave, it directly impacts the team's ability to build a cohesive, winning roster. Who wants to sign with a team perceived as having internal strife? Who wants to draft a player if there are widespread concerns about their ability to integrate seamlessly? This isn't just about the current season, it's about the long-term health and competitiveness of the franchise. It sends a message to potential free agents and draftees. Proceed with caution. And in a league where every ounce of chemistry counts, this kind of internal discord can be a death knell for championship aspirations. But what exactly is culture in a professional sports locker room? It's not just about winning or losing. It's the unwritten rules, the shared values, the feeling of psychological safety, and the collective commitment that binds a group of highly competitive individuals together. A strong team culture means players feel respected, heard, and that their contributions, no matter how big or small, are valued. It's the sense that everyone is truly pulling in the same direction, not just for their own stats, but for the success of the unit. When a culture is healthy, players are willing to make sacrifices, to communicate openly, and to hold each other accountable constructively. It's the difference between a collection of talented individuals and a true team. Conversely, a fragmented or toxic culture can unravel a team from the inside out, even one packed with superstars. Imagine a locker room where players walk on eggshells, where communication breaks down, or where individual grievances fester. It drains energy, creates resentment, and makes every practice, every road trip, every moment together feel like a chore instead of a shared mission. It's the subtle eye rolls, the missed high fives, the isolated conversations, the general air of tension that speaks louder than any direct confrontation. This is the breeding ground for culture issues, and it's why a single player, especially a high-profile one, can inadvertently become the focal point of its breakdown, simply through their presence and the dynamics their stardom creates. The burden of being the star is truly immense, a double-edged sword that can both elevate and isolate. On one hand, you carry the hopes of a franchise, the weight of endorsements, the responsibility of attracting fans and media attention. On the other, that very gravity can pull attention away from teammates, creating an unintended hierarchy where the star's narrative overshadows everyone else's. Think about it. A highlight reel of Angel Reese blocking a shot or grabbing a clutch rebound is undeniably thrilling. But what about the intricate screen that set it up? The defensive rotation that forced the bad pass? These are the unsung heroes, the teammates whose essential contributions can feel diminished when the camera constantly zooms in on one player. This isn't about blaming the star. It's about the inherent challenge of managing a supernova personality within a constellation of other talented individuals. The media, as we touched on, plays a significant, often amplifying role in this narrative. In today's 24/7 news cycle, fueled by social media algorithms, controversy sells. A quiet, harmonious locker room doesn't generate clicks or viral moments. A rumored feud, a cryptic social media post, a subtle body language cue, these are the fuel for endless speculation and analysis. Every perceived slight, every alleged disagreement is amplified, often distorted, and relentlessly discussed. This isn't just external noise. It infiltrates the locker room itself, forcing players to read about their own team's alleged dysfunction, often from sources with limited inside access. It creates a feedback loop. External speculation influences internal perception, which in turn fuels more external speculation. For young athletes still developing their professional identities, this constant scrutiny and sensationalism can be incredibly taxing on their mental health and their ability to forge genuine, trusting relationships. They're not just playing basketball, they're performing under a constant public psychological experiment. This isn't a phenomenon unique to Angel Reese, or even to the WNBA. Throughout sports history, there have been countless examples of immensely talented players who struggled with the nuances of team dynamics. Legends in other sports, known for their individual brilliance, sometimes left a trail of disgruntled teammates, not because they were malicious, but perhaps because their focus was so singularly on their own performance, or their personality simply didn't mesh with others in a collective environment. The stories are often similar. A player whose fiery competitiveness could be perceived as selfishness, or whose uncompromising will to win could be seen as arrogance. The challenge for these athletes, and for the teams they play for, is finding the delicate balance between fostering individual excellence and cultivating a cohesive, mutually supportive unit. So, if these patterns are truly taking hold, what's the path forward for Angel Reese? It's a complex question without easy answers, but several avenues of growth immediately come to mind. Firstly, it requires a level of self-awareness and introspection that is challenging for anyone, let alone a young star under such intense pressure. It might mean actively working on her communication style, not just in public, but behind closed doors with her teammates. Leadership isn't just about scoring points. It's about elevating everyone around you, making them feel seen and valued. That might mean publicly redirecting praise to teammates, actively engaging in team-building activities, or simply being more mindful of how her public persona might be perceived internally. It's about demonstrating, through actions, not just words, that she is fully invested in the collective, not just the individual brand. The coaching staff and front office also have a pivotal role to play. They are the architects of team culture. They need to facilitate open dialogue, address issues proactively, and ensure that all players feel supported and respected, regardless of their star power. This might involve difficult conversations, setting clear expectations for conduct and teamwork, and creating an environment where healthy communication can thrive. It's a delicate dance, harnessing the power of a superstar while ensuring that power doesn't overshadow the essential contributions of everyone else. Ultimately, Angel Reese is a young athlete, still growing and learning in the harsh glare of the professional spotlight. The pressure, the expectations, the constant comparisons, it's a lot for anyone to handle. Perhaps what we're seeing is not malicious intent, but simply the raw, unfiltered growing pains of a prodigious talent learning how to navigate the complex social landscape of professional sports. Her journey from here will be fascinating to watch. Will she embrace the challenge of evolving her leadership, cultivating deeper team bonds, and proving that her legacy is not just about individual brilliance, but about elevating those around her? Or will the Angel Reese effect continue to be a force that, however unintentionally, pushes key players away, leaving her talent, undeniable as it is, standing somewhat isolated? This isn't just a story about basketball, it's a profound look into the intricate human dynamics that underpin success, even at the highest echelons of competitive sport. What do you believe is the biggest factor contributing to these culture issues? What advice would you give Angel Reese to navigate this challenging phase of her career? Your insights are invaluable. Drop your comments below. And if you found this deep dive thought-provoking, please hit that like button and subscribe for more untold stories and nuanced perspectives from the captivating world of celebrity sports. Let's keep this conversation going.